Shri Krishna, Shri Krishna, Shri Krishna, Shri Krishna. Gurur Brahma, Gurur Vishnu, Gurur Devo Maheshwaraha, Guru Sakshat Param Brahma, Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha, Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha.
The 17th chapter begins with a peculiar question which is a common experience of most of us, where as regard faith is concerned many of us have, but many of us are not able to understand the importance of the scriptural authority. Now for such people, what is the gain or loss in this world? And if there is a loss, how it can be corrected? If there is a gain, how this is to be established, strengthened in one's life? This is the topic. Therefore, the teacher begins about the Shraddha, that the Shraddha, the foundation on which we live, is inherited by us from our last life. It is not the inheritance of the things from the parents. As is the hairstyle of the parents, so is the children. As is the eyes, so is that of the children. No. This is inheritance of our own mindset from the last life. And while explaining that, the teacher told that there are three types: Sattvic, Rajasic, Tamasic. And according to that we live our life. Now these things, the three types of Shraddha, they are expressed in our life in the form of invocation of the divine powers. Whether it is the gods, Yaksha, Rakshas, or the Preta, Bhuta. Similarly, the different types of tapas that we do, what for it is done? Is it done for spiritual evolution, destroying others, or it is only the habitual existence? So is the case with reference to the food, etc. After having told all this, now the teacher has taken up the last leg in this thought development. Yajna dana tapa prabhrutinam sadgunya karnaya ayam upadeshaha uchyate. So, whatever we are at this stage of our life, we can't change. We are like that. Now what can be done? However, we can correct our lifestyle. We can correct our approach to life. We may have Sattvic, Rajasic or Tamasic Shraddha. However, we can correct it. How we can correct and what is the correction factor? This is now taken from the 23rd verse onwards. 23rd verse. Om Tat Saditi Nirdesho Brahmanas Trividhas Smrutaha Brahmanastena Vedascha Yajñascha Vihita Puram. Om Tat Sat iti Brahmanaha Trividaha Nirdeshaha Smritaha. These three words, Om Tat Sat, they are the pointers, indicators, or the references about the reality. Which are these three? First is Om. It is Abhidhana Pradhan. You know, in the simple language we call it as Namatmaka. So the Lord, the Supreme Reality, the Brahman, is indicated through the name. So Om is name. And therefore Om iti Brahma, Om iti Dagam Sarvam. Everything is Om, Nam. Then that which is referred by the Om, what is that? So that is referred by the Tat. So Tat is all the forms, because we can recognize the God or the Lord only when it is manifest. When the truth is unmanifest, it is not possible to be recognized. So the manifest reality is mentioned as Tat. Tanoti iti Tat. So Om has become the name, Tat has become the form, manifest. And the last one is Sat. What is the Sat? That which is indicated by the Om, that which is manifested as the Tat, is not only that much, but it is beyond that, and that is called as the Sat. So now see the three aspects of this Om Tat Sat iti. Om name, Tat forms, Sat is that which is beyond the name and the form. So that which is beyond the name and the form is the reality, transcendental. Tat, it is immanent, in and through the total creation. And both this, the immanent and the transcendental reality, is indicated by one common name called as Om. Therefore, Om is the Sreshta Alambanam. It is indicating both the Karya Brahma, the manifest reality, as well as the Karana Brahma, the unmanifest reality, as well as that which is beyond the manifestation and unmanifestation. In this manner, Om Tassaditi Brahmanaha Trividaha Nirdeshaha Smritaha. This is how this Brahman or the reality is indicated. Smritaha, Chintitaha, is thought of, is contemplated upon. That is why based on this the spiritual practices, Dhyanabhyas is there. One type of school holds on to the name, and therefore every time they have this question, Naam le lo, please take the name. So those who are talking about this Nama, they are following this practice. So they are only invoking one side and ultimately it will reach there. The second type of people, they are following the Rupa Sadhana. So those who are following the Nama Sadhana, they are practicing Shabdanuviddha Savikalpa Samadhi. And those who are practicing the Rupa Sadhana, they are practicing Drushyanuviddha Savikalpa Samadhi. So, Vikalpa, options, Samadhi, that which is practiced with the support of the Nama or the Rupa. So, Om Tat. Then Sat. The third, Chintitaha. They are not obsessed with any Nam or any form, neither any name nor any form. Then Om Tatsariti Brahmana Nirdeshaha. So this Sad Vastu, that which is beyond the names and the forms, and recognize Atmatvena as one's own essential self. In this manner, Smritaha Chintitaha, where Vedanteshu Brahma Vidbihi. This is how in the Vedanta Shastra this Parabrahma Paramatma is contemplated upon, either with the predominance of name Abhidhana Pradhana, or form Abhidheya Pradhana, or the Sat is Adhyatma Pradhana. In this manner this is indicated. Then Tena Nirdeshena Trividhena, by these 3 pointers, Brahmanaha, Vedaha, Yajnacha, Pura Nirmita. By these 3 alone, all the great things are earlier indicated, Nirmita, created. So by this Om Tat Sat alone, Brahmanaha, those who are practicing these Brahmana means what? Those who are practicing the Brahma Vidya are called Brahmana. They, or the Vedaha, the books of the knowledge, Vedas, and Yajnaha, all the activities. So all those who are engaged in the spiritual activities with the help of the scriptures called as Veda, and all the spiritual activities are called as Yajna, all of them are Nirbita, Vihita. They are authenticated, supported by these three names of the God called as Om Tassat. Iti Nirdesha Stutyartham Uchyate. Now, why this second thing was the Vita Pura? Just to glorify, praise how this Om Tassat is the most important expression of the divine reality. This is how Om Tatsat iti nirdeshaha brahmana trivida pura smritaha. After having said this, then what this Om Tatsat is used for? So first of all, Om is indicated, then the Tat will be indicated, and then the Sat will be indicated. So the 24th verse, Tasmadomityudarutya Yajnyadanatapakriyaha Pravartante vidhanoktaha Satatam brahmavadinam. Tasmat. Tasmat means therefore. Therefore means why therefore? Because Om Tassat iti Brahmana Trividaha Nirdeshaha. Because Om Tassat is the best indicators, the pointers or the references of the reality. Therefore, Om iti, out of the three, the Om, one, Udarutya Ucharya. So by chanting Om, Yajna Dana Tapakriya Pravartante. All the activities with reference to Yajna Dana or the Tapa, they begin by chanting or by uttering Om. Therefore, Om Brahmarpanam Brahmahavi Brahmagno Brahmanahutam. Om Bhurbhuvasvaha Tatsaviturvarenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Yo Na Prachodayat. Om Trambakam Yayamahe Sugandhim Pushtivardhanam Urvarukam Yobandhanat Mrityormukshiyamamrutat. Om Namah Shivaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Narayanaya. See? Om Hrim Klim Hrim Phat Swaha. See? All the activities of Yajna, Dana, Tapa, Kriya, they are begun by chanting the Om, because Om is the remembrance of the Lord. We have seen Om Atha, these two words. These were the first word uttered by Brahmaji. Kantam Bhitva. So Om and Atha. Therefore this Om is the most Mangalika, the most auspicious word in the whole world. That is why with reference to Om there are no differences. Somebody may write differently, but it is the same. Like the Bengalis write Om in a different manner. The Tamilians write Om in a different manner. The Devanagari people write in a different manner. The Sardarjis, they write in a different manner. Ikonkara. Then Amen is nothing but Om. Ami is nothing but Om. So in this manner, this Om is the undisputed name of the Lord. And therefore, Tasmat Om iti Ucharya Udaratya. By chanting Om, all the activities begin. So Yajna, Dana, Tapa, Kriya, Yajnadi Swarupa Kriyaha. So this yajna dana tapa we have seen. Yajna is offering something to the Lord through the mouth of fire. Because Agni, the fire, is the mouth of the Lord. Therefore, yajna is offering to the Lord through the fire. Then dana is offering things to the people, to the beings, to the jivas. Who are the jivas? They are also nothing but the expression of the same Lord. Mamaivansho jiva loke jiva bhuta sanatanaha. The second stage. So when we do the yajna, there also we chant Om and then offer Dahuti. Similarly, when we give something to somebody in charity, there also we remember the Lord. Now, you must have seen, this is how I enjoy this whole world. You go to some people, Sai Ram, Sai Ram, Sai Ram. The other people you go, Om Namah Shivaya, Om Namah Shivaya, Om Namah Shivaya. The third fellow you go, Hari Om, Hari Om, Hari Om. The fourth one, Pranam. When somebody says Hari Om to me, I say Hari Om. When somebody says Swamiji, Paya Lagi. So I said, I also Paya Lagi. No, you should not say like that. I said, okay, then head Lagi. Touch your feet. So, all these differences become so conspicuous and it is such a fun. So when you come across one person, Sai Baba brand, he will start Sai Ram. And if there is another person who is the Guru brand, so his mantra is Jai Guru. So the Sai Baba brand will say Sai Ram, he will say Jai Guru. So Sai Ram, Jai Guru, Jagda begins. So, Om iti nirdeshaha. But Om is the common denominator. Therefore, Om iti udaritya, remembering the Lord. Yajna, offerings to the Lord. Dana, offering to the Lord in the form of the people to whom we give, to the beings. And tapa. See? Tapasya is austerities. Having gone through, we recognize our own divinity. See, if you remember 5th chapter of Gita, last verse, where Bhagwan Sri Krishna brings out this point, when he says that Bhoktaram Yajna Tapasa Sarvaloka Maheshwaram Surdas Sarvabhutanam Nyatva Mam Shanti Mruchati. Bhoktaram Yajna Tapasa. See, when Yajna is done, who is the Bhokta? Is the Lord. Tapas, when we practice tapasya in our life, it is the same Lord who is propitiated. Because what is tapas, as I told you? Tapas is the process of purification. So when we start the process of purification at the level of the body, speech and the mind, we are approaching, reaching the reality. And therefore, yajna, dana, tapa. See? So yajna purifies our intentions. Yadyat karomi tattadakilam shambho tavaradhana yajnarthat karmanonyatra lokoyam karma bandhanaha tadartham yajnartham karma kaunteya mukta sangat samachara. So the intentions for whom the karma is done is purified by the yajna. By the dana, our possessions, our wealth, our things in this world, they are purified. You know, one Mahatmaji told me He said, Swamiji, you are younger than me, therefore I will guide you. I said, okay, guide me. He said, you must know how to live with the people. I said, please tell me. He said, if you are with the North Indians, that means Punjabis and all that, then always talk to them about Vedanta. They will respect and honor you. If you have to come in contact with Gujaratis, then always talk about emotions. Pushti Marga, you will get a lot of good food. And if you have to talk with the Marwadis, you tell them, I will purify your wealth. Because they have accumulated the wealth in a very wrong manner. So they are all the time struggling. Marwadi spiritual sadhana is purification of the wealth. And therefore they give the donation, the charity. So when you promise a Marwadi that your wealth will be purified by me, you will be the best guru for them. So they will keep on collecting in the wrong ways and you go on purifying that wealth. So both are benefited. So yajna intentions are purified, dana the wealth is purified, and tapa your own system is purified, your mind is purified. All the negativities of your mind are gone. This is how remembering Om when we start yajna dana tapa kriya vidhanokta shastra choditaha, and these are to be done according to the authority of the scriptures. Satatam sarvada brahmavadinam brahmavadana shilanam. Therefore those who are the followers of the spiritual path, those who have full faith in the scriptural authority, they keep on practicing these yajna dana tapa kriya by remembering the Lord, by chanting His name Om. So tasmad omiti udaritya yajna dana tapa kriya pravartante vidhanokta satatam brahmavadinam. Now Om is over. Now we come to the Tat. Om Tat Sat. Now what is the Tat? Tadityanabhisandhaya phalam yajna tapa kriyaha dana kriyascha vividhaha kriyante moksha kankshibhihi. Tad iti. Now we take the next word, Om Tat Sat, so Tat, Tad iti. Anabhisandhaya, Tad iti Brahma Abhidhanam Ucharya. So we say the word Tat and Anabhisandhaya cha karmanaha phalam. Read it like this, otherwise you will get confused. Tad iti Anabhisandhaya. If you read like this, it will mean not chanting Tat. But Tat iti is a full stop. So Tat, now we will be talking about Tat. What is that? Tat iti udarutya. See that word udarutya, from the last verse, Om iti udarutya. So Tat iti udarutya. When you read this way, then there will be no confusion. So Tat iti udarutya. Now we chant the word Tat. Om Tat Sat Brahmarpanamastu. So we say all the three of them. So Tat iti udarutya ucharya, and this is the Brahma Abhidhanam. This is the name of the Lord, ucharya. Then anabhisandhaya cha karmanaha phalam. And without having attachment or without having anything kind of something is done with a desire fulfillment attitude, no. So when Tat is chanted without keeping in view the result of our karma, which are those karma? Yajna tapa kriya, yajna kriya tapa kriya, dana kriya cha vividha. So when all the yajna dana tapa, it is conducted for the sake of the Lord, not for my sake, not for one's own selfish gains. Therefore, phalam anabhisandhaya. not keeping our attention on the result of the yajna, dana, tapa. That means what will I get? Why should I do that? No. Yajnarthat karmanonyatra. Always remember this. Whenever things are done for the sake of the Lord, we will not be influenced by the karma phala, good or bad. Just understand this way. When you drive your taxi and take a passenger to a temple, or when you drive a taxi, take a passenger to a drinking booth, you'd get neither the merit nor the sin respectively. You are just doing it without anything in your mind where you are taking anybody. You are just observing, doing the things for the sake of the passenger. In the same manner, when the things are done for the sake of the Lord, then there is neither sin nor merit. And this is what I said here. Yajna dana tapa kriya vividha tad iti ucharya. So by remembering this, by thinking of the Lord, when everything is done for the sake of the Lord, yajna, tapa and the dana kriya. Now when this is done, by whom this is done? Two things. One is phalam anabhisandhaya moksha kangshibi. So when the purpose of our life is not to get anything from the life, but to get freedom from the life and death, they are the moksha kangshihi. So now the purpose of chanting Om is, rather Tad, one of the names of the Brahman, is now for whom I am living. So every activity, yajna, every austerity, tapas, and every charity is done only for getting freedom from all these three shackles of life. What is the first shackle of life? The kartrutva abhiman, the doership. The doership is rejected by the yajna. Then the lack of self-control or victimization of our own weaknesses, or by our own weaknesses, that is achieved by the tapas. Now why we should conquer our weaknesses? So that we can reach the absolute reality. And dana kriyascha. And why the charity is practiced? So that we ultimately able to reject everything. Dana is the first step to attain renunciation. Those who cannot give the things in charity, they cannot renounce the world. Therefore, what is the charity or dana? Dana is a temporary miniature renunciation. See? A person gives 10 paisa coin to a beggar. So he has renounced 10 paisa once. Now the same person gives 10,000 rupees to a Mahatma in Dakshina. So what he has done? He has renounced 10,000 rupees given to the Mahatma once. Then the same person goes further and he takes to sannyas. Then he has renounced everything once for all. See? This is how from the dana one slowly goes to the higher level of existence. That is why in our tradition, in our culture, in our religion, sannyasa is respected the most. Unless we take the sannyas, we never understand the importance and value of it. Because once you take sannyas, you are constantly reminded of the purpose of your life. It is more for our reminding than for anybody else. Because all the problems are ours. We have forgotten our identity. We have forgotten our own spiritual practice. We have forgotten the purpose of our arrival in this world. We have forgotten everything. Therefore, we have to be reminded of. And what is the best way to remind ourselves is starting from the grossest, the clothes. When we are reminded of again and again, slowly, renunciation becomes deeper and deeper. This is how moksha kangshibihi. So these are the stages. So tad iti anabhisandhaya phalam yajna dana tapa kriya dana kriya vividha kriyante moksha kangshibihi. So which are the dana kriya? Now Bhagavan Shankara's commentary tells us kshetra hiranya pradanadi lakshana. Giving the land to somebody, giving the gold to somebody, etc. Nivartyante, they are practiced by moksha kangshibihi, moksharchibihi, mumukshubihi. Those who are the seekers of liberation from the relativity, they practice this renunciation by remembering the Lord all through. After having told these two things, now the remaining word Om Tat Sat. Therefore, Om Tat Sat Shabdayoho Viniyoga Uktaha Atha Idanim Sat Shabdasya Viniyogaha Katyate. Now see the Sandhi, how it has become. Om Tan Chaddayoho. So Om Tat Shabdayoho. You can get many rules of Sandhi in this. Om Tat Shabdayoho Viniyogaha Uktaha Atha Idanim. We have already told the use of the Om and Tat. Now we shall tell you Sat Shabdasya Viniyogaha Katyate. Now the meaning of the Viniyoga means the purpose, application. So the purpose and application of the word Sat is now being told. Katyate, passive voice. 26th verse. Sadbhave sadhu bhave cha saditte tat prayujyate prashaste karmani tatha sat shabda partha yujyate. सद्भावे असतः सद्भावे यथा अविद्यमानस्य पुत्रस्य जन्मनि तथा साधुभावे असद्वृत्तस्य असाधोः सद्वृत्तता साधुभावः तस्मिन् साधुभावे च सद् इति एतत् अभिधानं ब्रह्मणः प्रयुज्यते. नाउ हियर अविद्यमानस्य पुत्रस्य जन्मनि. What is not there, when it becomes manifest, it is called as sadbhav. I'll explain you this in 2-3 different ways. This is very important verse. Then sadhubhav. Asadhubhav means what? Asad vrittasya asadoha sadvrittata sadhubhava. The person earlier, he was not a good kind of person, asadhu. Who is a sadhu? Sadhnoti param hitam iti sadhu. The one who takes care of the welfare of others is called a sadhu. So, asadhu bhava, the one who is extremely selfish, to remove, when the selfishness is removed, sadhurevasya mantavyaha samyak vyavasito hi saha. The moment he has decided to change himself, this is called a sadhu bhava. So, in this reference, sat iti etad abhidhanam brahmanaha, this name of the Brahman, Sat iti prayujyate, tatra uchyate avidiyate, prashaste karmani, vivahadaucha, sat shabdaha partha yujyate, prayujyate iti etat. Now here, third is prashaste karmani, in good karma. The word Sat is used by the people. This is how the word Sat is used. Now let us go deeper. Sadbhava. Sadbhava means what? When we look at a person, what is the kind of bhava that comes in our mind? Like, papi sarvatra papam ashankate. If we have the dirt in our mind, when we look at the world, we will see only dirty things. See? Therefore, when I look at a person, what comes in my mind? Asat or the Sat? When Asat comes in my mind, I am caught up in the Prakriti, the matter, the Upadhi and the modifications. Then I will talk about that person in the form of he is good or bad, he is cool or angry, he is this or that. But if my attention is on that one absolute existence, consciousness throbbing through that person, then all the asad vastu, perception will disappear. And I will be able to recognize the absolute reality that the other person is. See? Sadbhava. This is meaning of Sadbhava. Asadbhava is where importance is given to the Asad. And Sadbhava is that where the importance is given to the Sat. See? Very, very clear. Make it in your mind. And therefore, if our interaction in this world is taking us nearer to the reality, the Sat, our life is lived in a right manner. And if our interaction with the world is taking us away from the reality, then we are drifted away by the Prakriti and the Vikriti of the Prakriti. Therefore, Sadbhava means this. So what is meant? That whenever we are coming in contact with the whole world, our attention should be on this reality. That is important. Now see how this is. I will tell you through some example. When we look at the world, we evaluate. Something is good, something is bad, this thing, that thing. It should be changed, this should be done. But when I look at my own spastic child, when I look at my own abnormal child, that time what is my perception? I don't look at my child as the load, but I see myself reflected in the child. And as a result, I see the Sadbhava, that he is a living child and I have to take care of him. So this ability to go beyond the changing conditioning of the Upadhi, Asad Vritti, and to recognize the Sadvastu in and through all the experiences is Sadbhava. This is called a Sadbhava. Then second is Sadhubhava. Sadhubhava. Here Sadhubhava is with reference to the behavior, Vartana, Vritti. Therefore, Asadvrittasya asadhoho sadvrittata. Like, it is something like this. Normally, the father is a disciplinarian in every family. Because he is Surya Pradhan. And mother is a loving kind because she is Chandra Pradhan. This is how our scriptures tell. The man is having sun as the presiding factor and woman a moon. Now this being so, if the man has to be a disciplinarian, he has to be very strict. Now in the strictness and the disciplinarian aspect of the father, there is nothing but pure love for the children. This can be understood only if we have the Sadhubhava Vritti. Means what? Means if we are able to recognize something positive about the behavior of everyone around us, then we are having the Sadhubhava. See? But because we are not able to understand, we start immediately labeling and condemning the whole world. And this is how the misunderstandings begin. I remember the other day I received one letter, and in that it was written, Swamiji, I know that you don't like me, and you never pay any attention to me, and you talk to others but never to me. So I wrote. I said, when I come personally, I'll talk to you. And I went. And then I was giving only importance to that lady. All others totally neglected. And then afterwards, everything was over, I was going. As if I had not looked at anybody. They said, Swamiji, other people have come to meet you. I said, I don't care for them. For me, you is everything. No, Swamiji, how can you do that? I said, Mama, you tell me, you only wrote me. When I have to justify and prove that I love you, that is my failure. And if I have failed, I must improve upon. So I was again doing my practice to win over you. This is the most tragic experience when the mother and the father have to prove to the children that they love their children. See? When a friend has to prove to the friend that he loves him. When the husband has to prove to the wife that he loves her. When the wife has to prove to the husband, then this is all a total failure. Therefore, sadhu bhava is the ability to understand in and through all the behavior, interaction of the people, something positive, something creative. That is called as the sadhu bhava. So, sadbhave, sadhu bhave cha. But we, under the influence of our own ignorance, we start thinking, deciding all by ourselves, and imagine that we are the only one who can think about our welfare, and there is none in this world. Such people get drifted away without any support from the others. Sadbhave sadhubhave cha. Then prashaste karmani tatha. Now the third is prashasta karma. Prashasta karma means what? Sat karma. Sat karma is what? That karma which will lead us to the reality. The sad vastu is called a sat karma. Like the Madras train or the Bangalore train. Now the Bangalore train means what? Is the Bangalore in the train? No. Bangalore train means if you sit in that train, you will reach Bangalore, God willing. In the same manner, Sat karma means that karma which will lead us to the Sad Vastu, the reality. Now what will be the Sat karma therefore? Tasmat Shastram Pramanam Te Karya Karya Vyavasthitao. Therefore Sat karma will be that karma which is authenticated, propounded, declared, demonstrated, and which is fit for us to practice in life. That is called as the Sat karma. And therefore our life must be guided by the scriptural authority of do's and don'ts. If those scriptural authorities are not practiced by us, we are bound to go the wrong way. So, prashaste karmani, the auspicious, good karma. The good karma is that by which we attain the reality. Now take for example, in the life of, let us take the most popular example, Bhagwan Buddha. He was a son of a great king. He had a beautiful wife, children, and then he leaves his house and goes away. So this is not a Satkarma, because he has been irresponsible. He left his wife and children and went away. It is not a good karma. But what for he left away? To know the truth. And because he has left everything for the sake of the truth, that karma which was supposed to be an act of irresponsible lifestyle is considered as sat karma, because that alone has taken him to the reality. Now see the difference. Therefore sat karma means that karma which will reach us the sadvastu, the reality, that is sat karma. Now second meaning of the sat karma is that karma which will allow the sadvastu to express through us. What is the sadvastu? Satyam jnanam anantam brahma. Sat is Chaitanya Swarupa. Sat is Ananda Swarupa. So, that karma which is expressing all the three aspects. So, what will be the expression of the Sat in our life? We live and we let others live. That is the Sat. We don't lead a life under fear of death. Living fearlessly without the fear of death is the lifestyle as the sat karma. Otherwise, all the time living under the fear psychosis is not the sat karma. Now the second one. The same sadvastu is also chit swarupa. And therefore, what will be the sat karma from the consciousness, knowledge point of view? We don't deceive others, nor we get ourselves deceived. Because we lead a life of perfect alertness, perfect awareness. Now see, when our life is lived with perfect alertness and awareness, then alone sat karma is being practiced in life. As it is bad and wrong to deceive others, it is equally bad and wrong to get deceived by others. You cannot, you should not. You have to be extremely alert. Afterwards feeling the regret, I don't know. No. Then the third thing, sadvastu is also ananta, infinite, therefore bliss. Alpe sukham nasti tad bhuma. Chandogya Upanishad tells, in the limited there cannot be bliss. In the unlimited only there is bliss. And therefore, if the sadvastu is Ananda Swarupa, our life must be an expression of independent existence called as bliss. When these three things are manifested in all our activities, then we have understood prashaste karmani tatha sat shabda partha yujjate. So prashasta karma is that where sat karma, sat chintanam, sat jana, sat achara, sat guna, see, sat bhava, sadvastu. So all that which is referring to the reality is involved in our activities is sat karma. So prashaste karmani tatha sat shabdaha partha yujjate. So hey Arjun, this word sat is associated in this manner. Sadbhave, recognition of the divinity in everyone. Sadhu bhave, recognition of good intention and thinking positively, not in the misunderstanding. Anybody in this world is sadhu bhava. See? And the third is sat karma. All activities which will lead to the reality, or all activities are the manifestation of that reality. For this the word sat is used. Now after having told this, now the teacher goes one step further. 27th verse. Yajne tapasi dane cha sthiti saditi chochate कर्म चैव तदर्थीयम् सदित्येवाभिधीयते यज्ञे तपसि दाने च स्थितिः सत् इति उच्यते। यज्ञे यज्ञ कर्मणि या स्थितिः, तपसि च या स्थितिः, दाने च या स्थितिः, सा च सत् इति उच्यते विद्वद्भिः। स्थिति means what? Sthiti means firm abidance is called as sthiti, sthira. So we have no doubt in our life that yajna, dana and the tapa pavanani manishidam. See, in the 18th chapter Bhagavad will tell us. There are 2-3 references given by the Lord, and yajna dana tapa karma natyajamiti chapare. And here Bhagavan Sri Krishna very clearly tells that yajna dana tapa karma natyajam karyameva tad, because yajna danam tapaschaiva pavanani manishinam, because they are the purifying factors, and therefore it is extremely necessary for us that our life is under the shelter of the yajna, tapasya and the danam, 3 things. And we have seen exhaustively these 3 factors. So, living the life of yajna. Second, if you want to live the life of yajna, you have to be ready to undergo difficulties. There is a Subhashit where it is said that those who want comforts, they will never be able to study. And those who are wanting to study, they will have to go through all the discomforts of life. These 2 things can never go together. The study is not like the Western approach. Is it fun to study Sanskrit? This is how people ask. Because they have always studied only through fun. So their Sanskrit also they want to study. Scriptures also they want to study through fun. Therefore, the firm abidance in the understanding that life has to be yajna. It is a life of sacrifice. And if you want to sacrifice, you should be ready to go through the difficulties, and that is called as tapasya. And not only the physical sacrifice, but also the accumulations. Therefore, danam. So, yajne karmani, tapasi and dane cha ya sthiti sa sat iti uchyate vidvadbihi. Therefore, those whose life is a very clear, defined expression through these 3 parameters. The life is the life of yajna, the life is tapasya, and the life is sharing whatever we have. When these 3 things are done, then we are leading a life according to Sat, not otherwise. That is why this thing should be very clear in our mind. Life is yajna, and in that yajna, it is living for the first in yajna. It is karma pradhan. So, when we live the life of yajna, we discard laziness. We have to work hard. Never live in this world on the charity of others. We are in this world to give charity to others. Work hard. There was one boy who was telling Swamiji, I don't want anything in this world. Therefore, I don't do anything. But my parents, everybody is after me, what I should do. I said, I will tell you what you should do. You should not stay at home. Or else, if you don't want anything, that's very good. Very rare people have. Don't take food. Stop taking food. No, food is required. If you require food, you don't want to work, start begging. Begging is allowed in our scriptures. Go. Viksham dehi. Are you ready to accept begging and living? If not, work hard. And when we start working hard, then there is only one problem, and that is I work, I do. and therefore add the aspect of yajna in our life. So yajna discards laziness, first thing. Second thing, when we practice yajna, it changes and purifies our attitude towards action. See how it is. When we do something for the sake of the Lord, that something is done in the most beautiful manner. When we offer something to the Lord, we always offer the best. Unlike the pujas. The puja, when it is done, and we have to use the supari for the puja. So you go to the shop and ask the grocery man, supari, whatever you want, for puja or for eating. Puja supari, 5 kilo in 2 rupees. And for eating, 500 rupees per kilo. So decide what you want. So when it's to give to the God, useless one, no. So whenever we do or live our life according to yajna principle, laziness is discarded, the best performance is practiced, then tapasi. And when we really want to lead our life perfectly, we have to be ready to go through all the difficulties. Without that, nothing is achieved in this life. I always remember one girl gave me in Tafragaon one bookmark. She gave and disappeared. I had never seen who is that girl. Because she told me, close your eyes. They are all looking alike. You can't know who is who. And then say, put on my hand, and then all of them disappeared. When I saw that all great achievements are through great sacrifice. See the words of Vivekananda. And the ability to sacrifice is tapasya. And the practice of this ability is yajna. So yajna, tapasi, sthiti. And danecha. Dana, the clear understanding is, if we are focusing attention on the self, then we have to discard the not self. And if we have to discard the not self, we have to devalue that. And the devaluation will not start suddenly. So we start slowly. So first of all, we keep the value, but start sharing with what we have as valuable. And when we have reached a peak, then we even discard once for all, and then the same charity, dhanam, is converted into renunciation. Therefore, this sthiti, yajne, yajna karmani, tapasi, dane cha yastiti, tat sad iti uchyate. This is called as sat. Karma eva cha tadarthiyam athava yasya abhisandhanatrayam prakrutam tadarthiyam yajnadana tapo arthiyam ishwararthiyam iti etad. And karma chaiva tadarthiyam. Tad means that Paramatma of whom these three names are said. Therefore, abhinatrayam prakrutam. Prakrutam, the present topic. Abhidhanatrayam, the three things, Om Tassat. These three things are referring to this Paramatma, Brahman. So, tadarthiyam, for that Lord, for that reality, when the karma is done, then it is called as the Sat Karma. So, when the karma is done for the Sat, it is Sat Karma. When the karma is done for the Asat, it is Asat Karma. Now, what is the Asat? Asat is for our desires. Desires are not real. It is the Paramatma who is real. Therefore, tad etad yajna tapa adi karma asatvikam vigunam api shraddha purvakam brahmanaha abhidhanatraya prayogena sagunam satvikam sampaditam bhavati. And therefore, the teacher says, this is very important thing. Yad etat yajna tapa adi karma asatvikam vigunam api. See, in the 18th chapter, Bhagavad will tell us, Sarvarambha hi doshena dhumena agni iva avrutaha. any activity, any undertaking you take in this world, it is definitely associated with some or the other shortcoming. So, etat yajna tapa adi asatvikam vigunam api. See? Shreyan swadharmo vigunaha paradharma sanushtitat. So, although this yajna, tapa, dana, etc., even if it is associated with no good qualities, or there is a likelihood of asatvikam, it is done by the selfishness, etc., and if shraddha purvakam, and if it is done by the along with the shraddha. So what was Arjuna's question now? Again go back. Arjuna has asked a question that shraddhayanvita shastra vidhim usrujya. So he who is practicing in his life with the faith, but without the shastra vidhi, without the support of the authority of the scriptures. Now what Bhagavan is telling here, all these karma which are done without the support of the scriptures but with shraddha in the mind, how to purify them? Now do those karma with the shraddha. Even if you do not know the shastra vidhi, always remember the Lord, either Om Tat Sat Iti. This is what it is meant. See? So tad etad yajna tapa adi karma asatvikam vigunam api shraddha purvakam brahmanaha abhidhanatraya prayogena sagunam satvikam sampaditam bhavati. So although it is viguna, it will become saguna. That means although it is full of shortcomings, it will be fulfilled by the Lord's name. And although it is asatvikam, it may be done with the selfish motive, yet it will become divine if we do that karma by remembering the Lord, by offering it to the Lord, and by changing and purifying our intentions behind the karma. Tatra cha sarvatra shraddha pradhanataya sarvam sampadyate yasmat tasmat. Therefore, everything in this world, everywhere, the importance is that of the faith. Tatra cha sarvatra shraddha pradhanataya sarvam sampadyate. Everything is done in this world with the predominance of shraddha. And therefore, ashraddhaya hutam dattam tapastaptam kritanchayata asadityuchyate partha nacha tat pretya no iha. Now, what is the meaning of the word shraddha? First understand, then this will become very easy. Shraddha means what? First let us take our Vivek Chudamani, Bhagwan Shankaracharya. How he has defined shraddha? Shastrasya guruvakyasya satya buddhyavadharana sa shraddha kathita sadbihi jaya vastu upalabhyate. What is said in the scriptures, Shastrasya, Guru Vakyasya, what is taught by the Guru, Satya Buddhya Avadharana, the acceptance that this is the truth. Meaning what? That ability in the seeker to recognize the truth is called a Shraddha. Yaya Vastu Upalabhyate. So first of all, we do not know what is the truth. Then we go to someone or something. Someone is the Guru, something is the scriptures. So we go to the scriptures and the Guru and study and ask, and we are told. And if we start doubting both the scriptures and the Guru, we will never be revealed the truth. And therefore Shraddha is that yaya vastu upalabhyate. It is by the strength of the Shraddha alone we can recover or discover the reality. So Shraddha is defined as Shraddhate iti Shraddha. A ra is removed, it becomes Sat. So when we are able to uphold the Sadvastu, that is called as Shraddha. Yaya Vastu Upalabhyate. Therefore, in the discovery of the reality, in the attainment of the reality, and for that purpose, for everything in our life, Shraddha is the foundation of existence. This being so, Ashraddhaya Hutam, when any yajna is done without any Shraddha, I don't know, we are just only burning the fuel and milk and the ghee. If this is given to the poor people, it will be better. They will become more lazy. They will not do anything else because they get free from the government. See? This kind of philosophy is destroying this world. If you go to the Western world, the so-called welfare state, in welfare state, it is the responsibility of the state to look after the people if they are unemployed, not earning. I was in England and this topic was being discussed. And there are many English citizens, both Indian origin, Pakistan origin, English origin, many of them, who have never worked one single day in their whole life. And they are being looked after by the government. Even the beggar gets the allowance from the government. And a beggar is alone, so he gets also the allowance for his dog, because it is allowed to own a dog. And this is how the whole approach to life is self-destructing. That is why Ashraddhaya Hutam, when we do not have faith in our own activities, we will never reach the absolute. Therefore, whatever is told in our scriptures, various kinds of things, they are truthful, they are not humbug. Ashraddhaya Hutam. Then Ashraddhaya Dattam. When we practice charity without Shraddha, we always have this problem. Suppose I give them, what they will do? Why you worry? You give and forget about it. So, Ashraddhaya Dattam. And third, Tapastaptvam Ashraddhaya. And all the tapasya is done without proper understanding. What for the tapasya is done? To torture the body or to know the truth? What for the charity is practiced? To discover the truth or to get our name printed on a stone? How important it is. Therefore, Ashraddhaya Hutam Dattam Tapastaptam Kritanchayat. And all the activity which are done without any Shraddha, then Asad iti uchate partha. Hey Arjun, this is called as Asat. It is not leading to the reality. So it becomes not Sat Karma, it becomes Asat Karma. It doesn't become the Sat Yajna, it becomes Asat Yajna. It doesn't become Saddanam, it becomes Asaddanam. And such Asat iti uchate partha nacha tat pretya. And therefore, Mat prapti sadhana marga bahyatvat. Now see Bhagavan's words, how beautifully it is said. Anushtitam ashraddhaya tatha ashraddhaya eva krutam yad stuti namaskaradi tat sarvam asaditi uchyate. And when we go and do namaskar to the God or to the Mahatma without shraddha in our mind, it is called as asad. Why it is called as asad? Because mat prapti sadhana marga bahyatvat. See, it is something like this. Many times, people go to the temples, various temples, and there the Panditji gives you the tirtha. Now when you look at the pot, the spoon, the Panditji and all atmosphere around, and you are directly out of the ICU sterilized room. And when you take it, now I don't know whether drink or not, whether it's pure, whether is it from Bisleri? And such people will do like this. They will not take it. It's just action. Do you think such people will be benefited? Therefore, asat mat prapti sadhana marga bahyatvad. Similarly, the prasad, the same thing. They don't eat because they have doubt about it. So they will not be able to reach anywhere near the Lord. Nachatad bhavayasam api, and although it is practiced with all the efforts, bahu ayasa, like a lot of big yajna is organized, and a lot of charity is given, a lot of tapasya is done, and all many things are done. All this is although done. I remember, just now, the other day, I happened to meet one man. I meet him regularly, very old man, and all they smiling, Swamiji. Never have seen a frown on his face. And when I go for my lecture, there he will stand facing the whole audience, and he will receive me with great Swamiji. Already he has done 2 times namaskar. Again does everybody. All goody. One day it so happened that he wanted to do something, and that was cancelled. And then all disappeared. And then he started shouting and after all that, when he started that, then I said he'll feel embarrassed. Let him open up totally. So I went out. After that was all over, then some person came and told me, Swamiji, this is what it is. He is coming here for last 30 years, 40 years. Not a single day satsang is. But when something goes here and there, he is uncontrollable. So before you must have seen him always in a smiling mode. But everybody over here, they just keep away from him because he is extremely angry personality. Now tell me, whom are we deceiving in our life? Therefore, please remember this thing. Our spiritual practice is not a acting on the stage. It is not a performance. We have to lead our spiritual life with absolute purity up to the core. And what is absolute purity? This is sadbhave sadhubhave cha saditetat prayuchyate prashaste karmani tatha. So this change in attitude, change in interaction, and everything should ultimately lead us to the reality. That is all, the only purpose of our life. If this is not done, asat iti uchyate partha, nacha tat pretya phalaya na. When such a person dies, he will never attain emancipation, liberation. No iha, nor in this world, he will have any attainment, because sadhubihi nindatatvat, because such kind of behavior, asat vyavahar, is not appreciated by the wise people. And such a person is not only discarded in this world, but also in the other world. This is how this Shraddha is the foundation of our life. And by this alone, Sadhatte, we can uphold the Sadvastu. With this, we conclude our 17th chapter.
Shanti 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 Hari Om Sri Guru Pyo Namaha Hari Om.